Party people, how you feeling?
I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. See, I didn't hear it, so it didn't really happen. So watch, I'll do it again. I get it. It's two.
Party people, how you feeling?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to what is not the PapaJugg Podcast. This is just a live reaction to something that has just come out a couple of hours ago. Today, it is February 6th, and this is a letter from the YouTube CEO Neal Mohan regarding the 4 big bets for 2024, aka what we're prioritizing. There's a couple of things I want you to keep in mind as we have this discussion. First of all, whatever your thoughts are, share them in chat. That's fine. Unlike the podcast, I will actually be prioritizing what you typed, and including that and talking about that and involving that in our conversation. Second, this isn't going to be very long. It's a 4-part letter. It's a letter, not a book, so it's not going to take forever. But these are important. And if you are a content creator, when you hear from the CEO of the #1 content creation platform on the planet, when they're talking about things that are important, when they're talking about things that are priorities, when they're talking about things that are going to impact your ability or your opportunity to create content, that's something you should pay attention to. What's going on, Mr. AC3? Yes, I am 1 minute late for 2 o'clock. I apologize. 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Faulty G, hello to you as well. I just got out of a soft skills training where I was told I am too adversarial. Okay. Well, the CEO of YouTube didn't tell you that. So let's move away from that. So that's why this is important. We are talking about this not because AC3 is adversarial, but because when the YouTube CEO says, here's what's coming, that's what matters. We need to at least, at the very least, listen to the word and decide, do we take them at their word? I have gone through the entire letter. I've done some additional research. I think that these are, I think they're all important things for YouTube to focus on. I don't think he's wrong. I don't think any of this is off base. I've read, in my career, I've read many letters from CEOs and PR. I've drafted PR statements. I've published PR statements. I've given PR statements where you hear things and you're just sort of like, I don't buy it. In this case, I buy all of it. In fact, there's one thing that I'm going to talk to you about where he literally gives bad news about YouTube. I don't think it was intentional, but he did. There's a link in here. So the whole thing is pretty interesting. And I just want to go through it piece by piece. How will it impact you as a creator? How will it impact the audience? If you are not a content creator and you're listening to this, what does this mean to you as you, I'm not going to say view, but as you consume content on YouTube? And the reason I'm not going to say view is because not everything on YouTube is about viewing. A lot of it is about audio, especially now that Google Podcasts has been gone. YouTube decided to fold Google Podcasts into YouTube Music, which is one of the worst branding decisions I heard of in 2023. I know a little bit about that. Terrible idea. They should have rebranded YouTube Music at the same time, but they didn't, and we all must move on in life. And again, it's one of those examples where when the CEO says they're going to do something, listen to the CEO and then go accordingly. So let's start with the first thing. Again, these are 4 parts. These are the 4 big bets for 2024. This is from the YouTube CEO, Neal Mohan. So I'm going to go through this very quickly. The first is a fluff paragraph. YouTube is amazing. Ever since our first upload, we're cool. And that's why Google spent $1.6 billion to buy it. Great. Thank you very much. But he says this. Today, more than 3 million channels are in the YouTube Partner Program, which gives creators ways to earn money on YouTube. YouTube Partner Program has paid out more than any other creator monetization platform, and we paid over $70 billion to creators, artists, and media companies. And if you're not watching the video of this and you're just listening to the audio, on the right, well, on your left side of the screen, there is a huge colored pink and purple box that says the YouTube Partner Program pays out more than any other creator monetization platform, and we've paid out over $70 billion to creators, artists, and media companies over the last 3 years. I need to put that in some immediate context. Here, It's a nice claim. I'll bet you it's true. I'll bet you it's mostly true. I'll bet you it's pretty true. Here's my problem with it. It's not exactly it's misleading. Google or YouTube, I should say, YouTube in a particular year could make 25, $30 billion. Oh, by the way, one note. Everything that is in this discussion, almost everything in this discussion, is going to be using the billion term with a B as in boy. So don't confuse the millions with the billions. If it's a million, I will call it out. But pretty much all of the dollar numbers we're going to be talking about are billions, unless we're talking about an individual. Okay. So here we go. $70 billion to creators, artists, and media companies over the last 3 years. To put this in rough perspective, I want you to understand a lot of that is the media companies. Okay. 70 billion over 3 years. On a good year, YouTube will make $30 billion. So if you take $30 billion in revenue for YouTube and you subtract and multiply that by 3 years. Okay. So let's say all 3 years are great years and they do 30 billion a year, which they haven't. But let's say it's 30 billion a year. Great. Are you telling me 70 of the 90 billion went to pay other people? No. That's my first problem with this number, is that it's slightly misleading because it's both out of context and it's also incomplete. They don't give a breakdown of that. And it's only been the last couple of years that Google has actually started explaining YouTube's revenue. They never explained, that was never a separate line item. It was always just, here's Google's money. And it was, hundreds of bazillions of dollars. So the 70 billion is a little bit misleading. It's a little bit out of context and it's incomplete. Okay. Also, a lot of that is to media companies. They don't pay. So for example, take me. I create content on YouTube. I'm tiny, infinitesimally small in the world of YouTube. For now, I'll be huge. For now, tiny little person. Okay. YouTube doesn't pay me for anything. YouTube pays me for nothing I do. I don't get in. I'm not part of the creator category, the artist category, or the media company for that $70 billion. But they do pay people like Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is the number one revenue generator for YouTube in terms of individual creator, individual channels. So they do pay him. Obviously, he gets a cut of the ad revenue. He gets deals with YouTube. He probably has an exclusive agreement with them, or maybe not exclusive, but some sort of a flat rate, like payment deal. Who knows? I don't know what his contract is. I don't even want to guess. They do pay guys like that, but even the big guy, even Mr. Beast, only made $54 million. So $70 billion is a big number. If you put this in context, YouTube just signed a deal with the NFL. YouTube is now going to be broadcasting the NFL game. Okay, I think it's Sunday. Shit, was it Sunday? Hold on, I think it's Sunday. It just left my brain. Yeah, there we go. YouTube, the Sunday Ticket, right? So the Sunday Ticket, out-of-market games, which became available exclusively in the U.S. on YouTube for the 2023 season, quote, has found its perfect home on YouTube. Google is reportedly paying the NFL as much as $2.5 billion per year. Per year. So you're talking about $7.5 billion to one media company, one creator, over the next 3 years. So if we were to apply that, okay, I'm talking about this line right here. Google is reportedly paying the NFL up to $2.5 billion per year over the course of the 7-year agreement. If you were to apply that to the same 3-year period that they paid $70 billion, a full 10%, more than 10% of that number would have gone to one company. That's why I'm saying when they say, we've paid $70 billion, it's like, yeah, but not to little guys. Not to, when you say artists, the artist you could be talking about is Beyonce. So it's it's cool that you do pay. And I'm not knocking anything YouTube does, but when when they give out a number like we've paid $70 billion to creators, artists, and media companies, it's like, yeah, but a shit ton of that is the artists and the media company part. And the artists are all top tier artists with record labels like Universal, which, by the way, in case you missed it, Universal just canceled or just did not renew their contract with TikTok. So if your TikTok videos had a lot of Universal artists as background music, they're now demonetized or otherwise removed or muted. So brace yourself, because that was a lot of people, including Taylor Swift. So anyways, right, that's a lot of ads on screen at one time. $70 billion. So again, when you take a number like that, when YouTube says, hey, we've paid 70 billion, understand that is misleading, it's incomplete, and it's out of context. It doesn't mean what they want us to think it means. Okay, so there's that. A bunch of my Instagram meals are, I don't know why that would be, but UMG, Universal Music Group, they didn't renew their contract with TikTok. I'm not aware of any expired contracts or terminations with Meta. That would be new to me. So yeah, kids are talking about TikToks all being muted. Yep. TikTok didn't want to pay. Bottom line, TikTok said, no, I'm not paying you what you want to charge us, Universal. And Universal said, okay, it's our music, bye. And they walked. So there's that. Anyways, so like I said, step number one, we're 2 paragraphs into this. The big number that they make the claim for, not what they would like us to think, but fine, let's move on. Next, generative AI is driving another evolution that raises critical questions about how we express creativity. We're going to talk about AI specifically later on in point number 2. As we move forward, we'll continue to embrace partnership. We'll develop entirely new ways of empowering creative expression, managing rights, and driving revenue for our partners. Obviously, when you're talking about the world of AI, rights are a big deal, because what is the art that you are creating? We'll talk about that in a minute. We're at a key moment in history. I'm clicking the wrong screen. We're at a key moment in history, and I'm excited about what lies ahead. Today, I'm sharing how we're making these changes, my vision for 2024, and 4 big bets we're making across YouTube. Okay? Here's the first one. Big bet number 1, AI will empower human creativity. Right off the bat, I don't think he's wrong. I think for anybody who has been tracking AI significantly for the last 5 or so years, you see that AI can be used very, very creatively. It can empower people who didn't previously have the ability to do so. It allows people who may not be specialists or experts at graphic design to suddenly have a beautiful graphic that they can use in a project. It can empower a student to create a visual for some school assignment that they couldn't have had before without finding it in a magazine. Yes, I'm old. Finding it in a magazine and cutting it out. So now if I need to find a picture of a panda eating bamboo in a jungle, we're going to talk about pandas later, actually. Finding, a panda eating bamboo in a jungle, I'd have to go really old times ago. I'd have to go into a magazine, find that in National Geographic, and cut it out and paste it on my project. Now I can go into an AI piece of art, or just Google the image, but I can go in and create the panda eating bamboo in the forest that I want. It's not wrong. So let's take a look at what they talk about. In one of his sentences, he says the following: the good news is that YouTube has spent years tackling complex content challenges, from monetization to rights management to protecting our community. I'm going to stop right there. The good news is that YouTube has spent years tackling complex content challenges, blah, 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 blah. He then doesn't say that it's all resolved, because it's not. Just flat out, it's another incomplete sentence. We're tackling it. Actually, I should say it says spent years tackling. They're still tackling. These are still major problems. These are still issues that are being sued over. These are still rights complaints. All of this is still ongoing. The sentence is positive and wonderful, but the sentence is, again, incomplete because it doesn't say where they're at in these processes. Okay. I'll go back to his letter. Quote, we're approaching advances in AI with the same mission that launched YouTube years ago. We want to help everyone create. That's great. AI should empower human creativity. I think it does, not replace it. And everyone should have access to AI tools that will push the boundaries of creative expression. That's part of the problem. It's pushing the boundaries of creative expression, but it may also be pushing them into illegal territory. So when you go back, 2 sentences up and it says that we're tackling complex content challenges, yes, you are, but it's not solved. Let's not pretend that it is. Then he talks about Dream Screen. If you guys missed this actually is cool tech. I don't think there's a lot of rights issues with this. I think that this is just an interesting way to empower people to make something that they couldn't make before. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to show you what it is. This was announced at YouTube something. I forget where they announced it. But anyways, Dream Screen, our new experimental feature, allows creators to dream up AI-generated video or image backgrounds to their YouTube shorts. Sorry, that's a lot of U sounds. Simply type an idea into a prompt and watch what it creates. It's really kind of cool. The example on screen, like I said, pandas, the example on screen is you type in panda drinking coffee, it AI generates multiple videos, or you can pick from them, of a panda drinking coffee out of a cup. Like it intuitively says, okay, we know what you want. And it does it as a video, not a still frame. So if you want to do this as a background to whatever your actual content idea is, cool. Now you have the ability to do so. That was impossible prior to AI. Okay. Minus the words, yeah, just why arg. I mean, honestly, what's up? That could be you. So it creates those opportunities for something that couldn't previously exist. Again, the legal and creative challenge with this is how much of that video is, for example, a ripoff of the very popular panda meme where the baby panda sneezes and then the mother panda jumps. Like she freaks out when she heard her baby sneeze for the first time because it was so loud and she was sleeping or whatever the hell was happening. Like, how much of it is sourced from an existing thing and is just a clone of it? And I'm just giving that as a made up example. Those are the things that we have to watch out for. How much of this is inspired by Van Gogh as opposed to being a Van Gogh? When you talk about art, that's part of the issue is it inspired by, or is it like Apple does with so many of their designs, just straight up copied or imitated? There's a difference between being inspired by and being imitated. So whatever. But again, I think Dream Screen is pretty cool. I like the fact that YouTube is doing this. I think it's a good thing for them to do. And then they've got this whole ad for the new YouTube Create app, by the way. It's actually minorly useful. I've experimented with it, but haven't used it. So there's that. Then there's another one. And through our Music AI Incubator, we're hearing feedback from artists about the way AI can supercharge their creative process. Last year, we shared Dream Track, one of the first experiments as we explore the possibilities of AI in music in collaboration with partners across the industry. See how it's going so far. I'm going to share an example when he really shouldn't be linking to things. We're leveling the playing field and developing AI tools that empower everyone. Our commitment to democratizing access to AI builds on the ways we're expanding everyone to share fun videos right from their phones with Shorts. A lot of talk about Shorts. In the example I just gave of Dreamtime, or Dream, the fuck do they call it? Dream what? Dream Screen. Dreamtime. Dream Screen. In Dream Screen, the examples they gave were vertical formatted videos for Shorts. So Shorts is a theme, trust. You're going to hear it a lot. Viewers now globally watch more than 1 billion hours on average of YouTube content on their TVs every day. We're going to be talking about televisions. But I wanted to share with you something else. Oh, yeah. Quote, I love seeing how people use Shorts to participate in cultural moments. Shorts is averaging over 70 billion daily views, and the number of channels uploading Shorts has grown 50% year over year. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. So, Shorts is averaging over 70 billion daily views, and the number of channels uploading Shorts has grown 50% year over year. I'm going to start at the back and work our way towards the front. Shorts has grown over 50% year over year. That percentage, like most percentages, doesn't mean a damned thing without a number behind it. Technically speaking, if I go from 2 channels uploading Shorts to 3 channels uploading Shorts, that's a 50% growth year over year. It doesn't mean anything without a number. How many accounts are uploading Shorts now? Tell us how many accounts exist, how many are uploading shorts, and then it helps us understand this. But this is very fluffy and vague, as most PR things are. Okay, so grain of salt. All right, let's keep going backwards. Shorts is averaging over 70 billion daily views. Again, great. This time you have a number, not a percentage. Thank you very much for doing that. Small problem. You've never defined what a view is. So 70 billion daily things we haven't explained yet. Okay. It's kind of like telling people the sky is blue, but they're colorblind. It's like, that's cool. I'm so glad you're telling me. I don't know what blue means. Same problem here. Shorts is averaging over 70 billion daily blue skies, and I'm colorblind. What do you want me to do with that number? Is that a 5-second impression? Is that something I interacted with? Is it something that just auto scrolled? Like, I don't know what 70 billion daily views means. It's a big number. I mean, obviously it means that a lot of things are happening. We just don't know what they are. Just saying. I'll continue. This year, we'll continue to ensure AI is in service of creativity through our work with creative industries in the rollout of AI-powered features and as we unlock opportunities while building out appropriate protections. The last part is very important. I give them credit for mentioning these things multiple times. Throughout this, they talked about protections, monetization, rights management. They're not shirking away from that. It's just a very complicated thing. And I do give YouTube and other companies the benefit of the doubt when you are trying to navigate something this big, this legally murky, because God knows governments around the world, and we're going to talk about them in a second, governments around the world are way behind in their understanding of technology. It's hard. It's just hard for a company like YouTube to do that and help craft policy. Which brings us to number two. Number two. It is, where's my mouse? So number 2, creators should be recognized as next generation studios. Yes. 100%, absolutely, unequivocally, yes. We have drifted. I'm no longer putting this in the present tense. We have drifted away from a world where you are required to utilize or be found by something like a television broadcast channel to be famous, or you need to be written up in the newspaper, or you need to have some viral blogger talk about you like a Paris Hilton, Perez Hilton, Jesus. A Perez Hilton. Like, that's no longer what it takes to grow as a content creator. You now have the tools and a shit ton of hard work. You now have the tools to make your own content career. So again, number 2, creators should be recognized as next generation studios. I'm going to read this entire thing. Over the years, creators have built a name for themselves. They're entertaining people around the world, making us laugh and bringing us together. They're also doing something even bigger. They're redefining the future of the entertainment industry with top-notch storytelling that can't be dismissed as simply, quote, user-generated content, end quote. It's not just the entertainment industry that's taking note. World leaders are also tapping into the wide reach of creators. Last fall at the APEC Economic Leaders Week in San Francisco, government officials like the Canadian Minister of Foreign Affairs and the U.S. Secretary of Commerce sat down with creators, including Toby Hendy, Leah Yu, and Humphrey Yang, to connect with their audiences. I had the opportunity, I being Neal Mohan, I had the opportunity to watch some of these conversations in person. It's great to see leaders understand the value of creators. Creators are truly entrepreneurs, and we're helping them diversify the way that they make money on YouTube. We're investing in ways creators earn money while helping viewers shop for products. And viewers are directly supporting their favorite creators through fan funding features like channel memberships. The number of creators using memberships increased more than 50% last year, and creators are seeing the impact of fan funding. Like Nerea's Consulting, who leaned into memberships to draw more viewers to her career development content, and Emily D. Baker, whose membership earnings grew more than 50% last year. The majority of Emily's YouTube revenue now comes from memberships. We're also working behind the scenes to support creators through programs like the Creator Collective, which brings creators together to share experiences, build community, and collaborate. We launched a pilot of this program last year in 8 countries, and we've heard helpful feedback from creators. This year, we'll help policymakers and partners across the industry see the economic and entertainment value that creators bring to the table. Being a creator is a full-time job with an international audience, but most governments don't account for creators in their labor data. We believe creators should be recognized for their work, and creators at the top of their game should be acknowledged in key industry forums. Okay, all of that. I don't take issue with any of it. I think he's 100% correct, especially from his position as CEO of YouTube. They need to get governments more aware of the fact that creator economy is an economy. It's a whole multi-billion-dollar subsection for most countries. It's not recognized by any user labor data whatsoever. And it is something that is creating a stronger middle class, not an upper class. For all the Mr. Beasts out there, there's 100,000 people who are paying a bill or buying food or doing whatever they got to do purely with their content created money. Like, that's important. Governments need to understand how that is impacting their middle class of their country, or even their lower class. The bottom of the economic rung in their country. They can now earn additional income based purely on their talent or entertainment capabilities, or where they are and what they can capture live. Who knows? But that's part of an economy, and it's a big part of an economy. Governments don't recognize it. Okay. So, yes, world leaders, they did sit down with creators at APEC. That's all fantastic. We're investing in ways creators earn money while helping viewers shop for products. Yes, the money typically what they're trying to structure is that more money comes from the viewers and not from YouTube. They're not closing any doors. I mean, every product I've seen, they're not closing any doors to things like sponsorships, but they're saying we're looking for new ways for your audience to pay you. So like I said at the beginning, if you're a viewer of online content, if you are a supporter of a content creator, a lot of this letter applies to you because it's going to impact what you can do and what you should do with your favorite creators. You're going to have new ways to buy merch. You're going to have new ways to support them by clicking links. You're going to have new ways to have your view count towards revenue, things like that. So keep that in mind. Let's go back to the percentages thing. The number of creators using memberships increased more than 50% last year. Again, Mr. Mohan, we have no idea what that means. Creators saying blah, blah, blah. Oh, here we go. Emily D. Baker, whose membership earnings grew more than 50% last year. That's nice. Emily's a big creator. We have no idea what that is. I mean, maybe she's released her pay numbers, but I don't track it. So Emily membership earnings grew more than 50% last year. Cool. From what to what? $2 to $3? $200 to $300? Like, again, random percentage shows percentage growth, not understandable growth. We don't know what that means. The majority of Emily's YouTube revenue now comes from memberships. Cool. If my membership revenue went from $200 to $300 and I only make $50 in ads, okay, I'm not wealthy. I've made $350. And yes, most of it comes from memberships. Like, again, incomplete, out of context. We don't know what the hell that means. So here's the funny thing. I wanted to bring this up to you guys. He talks about the Creator Collective. Okay. At the end of the paragraph, he says, we launched a pilot of this program last year in 8 countries, and we've heard helpful feedback from creators. For those of you watching the video, there is a line, feedback from creators is highlighted because it's a link. The funny thing is, all that link goes to is a Twitter post from YouTube creators. It's an official post from the Creator channel. Hop on the YouTube Creator Collective tour with your guide, Gina the Gorgeous. It's a 58-second promo video. That's not helpful feedback. Like, feedback from creators. This isn't feedback. This is basically almost, I mean, not technically sponsored, but it's basically an endorsed post to get people to sign up for you. That's not feedback. I don't know if that's the link you intended, but it doesn't make any sense. I was so confused. I was like, I'm clicking every link. I want to know what you want us to see. What are you talking to us about? And I was just like, that's just hey, come on with me. We're going to go check out the YouTube Creator Collective. And I was like, that's not feedback, dude. That's just That's just one of your representatives being an ambassador. Like, let's just move on from that. So anyways, so I found that kind of amusing. And then again, they're going to help policymakers and partners across the industry see the economic blah, blah, blah. Great. YouTube has the ability to do that. Alphabet, their parent company, the owners of Google, have the ability to do that. I can't buy a congressperson. I can't buy a senator. I can't buy a member of parliament. YouTube can. YouTube can flat out be like, hey, you know that $100,000 check we cut to your campaign last year? We'd like a 15-minute meeting tomorrow. Okay. Like, that's the way the world works. They can buy access. They will get listened to. They will be invited to a special session of Congress where they're like, hey, we're doing we're doing an investigation on the YouTube creator economy. Cool. We'll be there. Like, that happens. All right. So anyways, number 3, let's go to number 3. Let's move on. YouTube's next frontier is the living room and subscriptions. This is so important for both creators and audiences. Okay. There's a lot of importance to this. And the funny thing is, if you scroll, it covers a chunk of the letter. Like it's not a skip. Okay. Let's talk about this. Viewers want everything in one place, from a live sports game to the BBC to the Khan Academy and Nikki tutorials. They're watching YouTube the way we used to sit down together for traditional TV shows, on the biggest screen in the home with friends and family. 100% correct. Whether it's kids that want to watch gaming videos, whether it's collections of kids, maybe they're doing Khan Academies, or mom or dad is using, again, Khan Academy, maybe they're trying to learn new skills for work, or they're tuning into some, LinkedIn thing, and that content is all saved on YouTube. So much, billions and billions of hours is uploaded to YouTube every month. And it's a place that hey, I'm already in the living room, put it on the TV and you're good to go. My television remote should have a YouTube button on it. It has Netflix and Hulu and all of that shit. But there's more content on YouTube than there is on any of those platforms. YouTube has more consumable content than any other streaming service. And it may not surprise you that YouTube is the biggest streaming service in existence. By far. It's not even close. That's how much is available. So think about that as a content creator when you're uploading a video. And it really kind of, shorts are not going to be so much of a TV. I'm going to take YouTube out of that one. Shorts is not really a TV watching thing. That's very much relegated to phones. But think about your long format, horizontal video. What is that going to look like on a 60-inch TV? Because that could be how a lot of your audience is watching it. They're not tuning into ABC. They're not tuning into Fox News on the TV. They're probably watching something that's coming off of the internet, not broadcast TV. Here's where I thought the link was a little bit of a dumb idea. I'm going to take you to the link that he included, which is right here. This, by the way, this is from Nielsen, worldwide famous reporting organization. They do tracking for ratings. Similar to broadcast and cable, streaming remained challenged by the scarcity of new content, yet a handful of titles started to arrive, blah, blah, blah. Where did it go? Notable platform-level changes included a 6.6% increase in Tubi viewing, Tubi, if you're not familiar, they're another streaming service. 6% increase in Tubi viewing, which, again, the percentage doesn't matter. Tubi gets very few viewers anyway. That led to a 0.1 per share bump and a 3.4% drop in YouTube usage that led to a loss of 0.4 share points. That's not a small number, okay? But when you look at broadcast television, okay, so I'm moving down now. In 2023, in December of 2023, broadcast television made up 23% of the viewing. Cable television made up 28% of the viewing. Streaming was 36%. Put that in your head. Streaming was 36% of all content watched on television during December 2023. Now, that includes YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, blah, 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 blah. It includes all of that. Not saying it doesn't. In fact, it gives a breakdown. 5.2% other streaming, whatever. But YouTube was 8.5% of that. So literally 8.5% of all time spent on a television in December of last year, 8.5% of that was YouTube. 7.7% of that was Netflix. Then Prime, then Hulu, then Disney Plus, then Tubi, then Peacock, then Max, then Roku, then Paramount, then Pluto, blah, 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 blah. So YouTube was the number one streaming service in the number one category for television viewing. If you are a content creator, what does your content look like on a 60-inch TV in a living room? It's not this big. It's 60 inches. It's 70 inches. It's 80 inches. There was a thing at CES, 100 and what the hell was it? It was 109. Jesus, it was 109-inch 8K TV, I think. Like, what does your content look like on that? And obviously, not everybody has that. I'm just giving you a thought. Put that in the back of your brain. So like I said, that was what he linked to, and I'm like, maybe don't link to the thing that says you're shrinking, but whatever. YouTube was the leader in streaming watch time for the past 11 months. Okay. Creators are thinking about how to optimize their content for the living room, and it's easy to see why, blah, blah, blah. Then he talks about some individual creators, which we don't need to promote. We're bringing everything viewers love about YouTube to the living room experience, and that includes sports. We just wrapped our first season of the NFL Sunday Ticket, and it really shows the future of YouTube. Keep in mind when he says that, I'm going to add an addendum to that sentence. We just wrapped our first season of NFL Ticket Sunday, and it cost us approximately $2.5 billion to do that. I don't know what they made on it. Quite plainly, the whole thing could be a loss leader. They could have paid for this literally just to burn through cash and say, get people on YouTube, get them watching YouTube on television, and sports is the best way to do it. Maybe that's the goal. I can't speak to their goals and how they spend their billions of dollars. We're bringing all of the content people want to see, like commentary from creators such as Destroying and the Kelsey Brothers New Heights podcast, and like the PapaJugg podcast, which you can see every Friday night on YouTube Live. Just saying. He forgot. It was supposed to be the third mention in that, and they skipped it. Sad. We're also seeing consumer interest in our subscription services grow. We're excited to announce that we have more than 8 million subscribers to YouTube TV. Remember, that is a paid program. We passed 100 million YouTube Music and Premium subscribers, including trials. Music subscriptions help us deliver on our goal to be the best place for artists to connect with fans, from insider access to Coachella to shorts challenges with New Jeans, Dua Lipa, Tate McRae, blah, blah, blah. This year, we'll continue to deliver a yada, yada, yada. So this is important also, okay? Because I believe it was last year or 2022. I forget where the latest numbers are, but their premium subscription services across YouTube, all the stuff you have to buy for special access, was a $15 billion source of revenue for them. It's not chump change. Now, compared to the $90 billion they might have made that quarter, okay, but still, $15 billion is a significant source of revenue from a huge audience. Those are people who are paying for access to YouTube. Interesting numbers. Okay. So again, keep that in mind. They're focusing on the living room. They're focusing on big screen. They're focusing on new experiences beyond the phone. You got to think about that. It's not just desktop. It's not just phone. There's also televisions now. There's projectors. That's what YouTube is focusing on, quite literally, the living room and subscriptions. They're trying to become a streaming service. And I mean, they are. They're there already. And then finally, number 4, protecting the creator economy is foundational. If you're a creator, this is important. I'm going to read this entire thing. As we work across all of these priorities, our number 1 commitment is to responsibly protect the YouTube community. Our business as a streaming service relies not just on engagement, but on giving viewers and advertisers confidence that they can count on us to deliver high-quality content. Protecting the creator economy is foundational to everything we do, and it's good for business. It's important that we create a healthy online experience for kids. As I watch my own kids use technology at home, I'm reminded how many families come to YouTube every day to help their kids with everything from homework to tutorials for new hairstyles. Our youth products reach more than 100 million active viewers every month, and we're supporting the growth of kids and teens thoughtfully and in coordination with parenting and mental health experts. Another way we uphold our responsibility is connecting people with high-quality information. This is more important than ever as elections take place across the globe. More than 50 countries will hold elections this year. We're ensuring that when people look for election news on YouTube, authoritative sources are prominent in their searches and recommendations. We spent years investing in a playbook to responsibly manage content on YouTube, including long-standing, rigorously enforced policies against hate speech, incitement to violence, election interference, and more. We quickly evolve and adapt when new challenges emerge, and we'll do so again as generative AI makes more sophisticated deepfakes possible and raise new questions. Not only do all of our existing policies apply to synthetically generated content, we'll also add new layers of transparency and protections. For example, in the coming months, we'll introduce labels that inform viewers when the realistic content they're seeing is synthetic. We're focused on our responsibility efforts in every aspect of our work, and will continue to make investments in the teams and technologies that protect the YouTube community. All of that is important. All of that I don't think is bad. It's murky, because how do you decide what an authoritative source is? It's kind of up for debate. And especially in the United States, where our political environment is so ridiculously polarized, what one person may consider authoritative may purely be based on the fact that they like it. Quite plainly, it doesn't matter if it's true, they like it. That makes it an authority. So that's a tough line to walk. You've got to sort that out. And ultimately, like all other social media networks, all other media companies, they have to make a decision. They have to put into black and white terms, this is our criteria, this is how it passes or fails a test. They need to do all of that. I don't think it's wrong for them to do any of this. I think that it's all important. I'm glad he addressed the issue of kids and teen safety. But again, there's not a ton in that is detailed, which kind of in a letter, you don't really need it to be. You know, there's links in here and you can click on some of those. For example, in coordination, if I show you what's there, an updated approach to eating disorder related content. Again, weird link. This is one topic out of about 1,000 you could link to, but why would you link to one topic? Why not link to your policies? Or why not link to a news piece where you talk about, you know, here's what we're going to be doing for teen safety or something like that. You know, just you're linking to one thing that I didn't understand the linking policy, but whatever. Maybe it's for SEO purposes. God knows. You know, so I don't think any of that is bad. Bottom line, when it comes to this letter, here's where I think we ended up. I think we have a CEO of YouTube who I would put in the same category as the new or most recent CEO of Twitch. I think you now have CEOs of these two major companies for content creators who are invested in their platforms. Okay. Neal Mohan has gone around and he has accounts set up on Threads. He has accounts set up on X. He's doing this thing to say, look, I'm here. I'm accessible. I'm putting out information. I'm kind of listening to information. Great. Dan Clancy is doing the same thing with Twitch. Dan Clancy is actually streaming on Twitch. He's on these social media platforms. He's doing things to get out and be connected to creators and viewers. Both good. I like what I've seen from Neal Mohan so far. I think these are great. I think these initiatives are important. I think we're looking at big, high-level issues that creators need to be aware of. But I think we still need to, as always, hold these companies accountable. Ultimately, they are not only messing with their incomes, but they're messing with ours. They are not only messing with their user experience, but with our audience experience. And I will always put my audience experience above YouTube's user experience. But they are intertwined. YouTube can screw that up and I can screw that up. Okay. So there's parts of that are really, really important. And I think that gets addressed in a lot of these big four issues. And then there's also, like I said, the AI portion of it. AI is not going away. If there's anybody out there, if you are trying to stick your head in the sand and say, I hate AI, so I'm not going to use it or view it, it's like, that's fine. You can choose to do that, but you can also choose to ride a horse to work instead of driving a car. It's your choice. It just may not be a logical one. AI is here. AI is going to change how content is created. It is going to change what jobs exist in the future. It is going to change so many parts of the economy. How do we use it? How do we embrace it? How do we include it? All of those things need to get addressed. And companies like YouTube are at the forefront of that when it comes to content creation. So overall, I think this is a good letter. I think this is important information for creators and viewers alike. I think this is a fair way for the CEO to say, here's what we're going to be working on at YouTube, and you can hold us accountable at the end of the year to say, this is what you talked about in February. We're in December. Where is this? Or we're in December. So far, you've done great. All of these 4 issues have been addressed throughout the year, maybe not finished, but addressed. And we appreciate that too. It's all good. So I would say if you are a member of the viewing public, as we all are, I think there's good days ahead for YouTube. I think you have a CEO that's trying to create a nice experience for you. If you are a content creator, as some of us are, I think that you've got a supportive platform. It's not perfect. It doesn't do everything we want it to do, nor does it pay us everything we want it to pay us. But I think YouTube is a healthy environment for us to meet our audiences and create entertaining content with new capabilities that maybe didn't exist before, but are definitely existing now or will soon in the future. So as always, go have yourself a good morning, a good day, a good night, whatever it is for you, and I will see you next time. See ya.